Well, that was some kind of day today, wasn't it? I'm eating an apple. My summer of steak eating was caught up to me. So, a very good day at the training center today. I really, to be honest, even Curtis had said to me, "Do you sure you want to do this live?" Fair question, because if anybody acts up, it's there for the world to see. So I was pretty confident everybody would behave. I think, I knew there was a chance that Cantab filly would act up, but she's level-headed. It's not like she would have kicked if somebody that maybe didn't know as well was going with her. I think she had the ability to cause some mayhem today, but chose not to. But man, oh man, she certainly turned a lot of heads. And a lot of people messaged me, "Who's this horse?" Or, obviously, are there any shares left? This is the full sister to Crystal Fashion we're talking about. So, regally bred, truthfully speaking, to look at her pedigree, there's no reason that she's in this barn. And that's a lie, because as I had said to a number of our clients, they had asked, well, what horses were you looking at? I never did tell you this. I can tell you the first few. Now, if any one of these horses were purchased, theoretically, that would negate all the other ones. Didn't matter. First one we got that I would consider top bred pedigree, that was it. That was our horse. First one was number 5. That was Poppy Rob Hanover's brother by betting line. He went for $125,000. Now you might say, well, Anthony, you paid $115,000. $115,000 for this horse by Walner is in a different area code as a betting line brother to Poppy Rob, in my mind, subjectively speaking. Not apples to apples, not even apples to oranges. So Poppy Rob Hanover's brother, I think I was out at 65. The next horse I was going to bid on was that Cantab filly. Now, I'll be honest, I thought she'd bring 80, 90, 100 and some thousand. Where was I going to stop? Probably 70 or 80,000. And when we got her for 37,000, I knew the filly. I saw her. There was no, hey, did I make a mistake? No. $37,000 just enabled me to continue to look for another good horse, which is how we ended up with. And I think maybe just that situation where that Walner colt that I thought would bring $250,000, $300,000, bringing 115, between me paying 37 for the first one and getting that guy for $115,000, I think that situation was the only one of the few combinations that would have allowed me to do that. So that is where when the Cantab filly was not, hey, we bought her for 37. That was my first good horse of the second good horse of the day to bid on, or a horse that I thought was, as I said, a top pedigree horse, a horse that I knew or thought would bring a lot of money. Poppy Rob Hanover's brother was the first one, and the second one was Will to Win Hanover. The third one was 3 Point Blue Chip. So that's how that worked out. So how did the horses go today? I have a list here. I love it when they do this. Somebody brought a big list in. I grabbed it right off the board. Now I'm just, take it for what it's worth. There's no real, this one was great, this one was good. Really, who was good, who was bad? Why were the bad ones bad? What are we going to do about that? And, geez, it's really nice to see the horses coming along well for the good ones. First one, Almost There, Boss, was great. Better Be Sawyer was very good. Procrastinator, little weak and drawn out looking. Now, is he coming off the virus? Wait, fly. Is he coming off the virus? Yeah, he's coming off the virus, so it's not a big deal. A little bit weak looking, but Procrastinator will come forward. Twinkle in Her Eye was pacing pretty good today. I was happy with her. She's got a big splint, I think, left front. Mario said we're going to have that cryo this week. And then World for Two. Keep in mind, I've tried my best. I want to stay away from World for Two. I went with him the other day. If you guys go back and look at the videos that we did when I came home the other day, Kelly had done some videos, and one of them was of World for Two. Man, this guy can dance. Colt's a really, really hard worker, a good guy. He helps us out at the barn, works at the barn as one of the caretakers all winter, all spring, and then I believe he raises honeybees in the summer. And Colt's just a hard-working guy, and loves to go with the horses. Doesn't have a lot of experience, so it's hard to really put him up on any of the ones that are a little trickier. But this guy's so push button. I said, Colt, would you like to, go with World for 2, and of course he would. Much like anybody that loves horses would love to be in a training set. So Colt got to go with World for 2 today. World for 2 is, as I said, as push button as you're going to get. The first day I jump up and go with him, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Today, just go back and look. He does everything perfectly. Colt's just along for the ride and having a lot of fun. So that was the first set. Second set, Blue Bayou Dio, man. She got a little streak in her, but wow, can she trot fast. Blair, so far, I believe I'm going to give him a check mark beside his pick of Blue Bayou Dio. She was very good. Bomb Hugger, little rough, little bumpy, the old Hugger. I told the girl that works for us, maybe just put a little set of toe weights on Bomb Hugger for now, till we get her gated up real good. That transition from start, go, that's where you see horses start to interfere a little bit and they get a little anxious. So was it that she's rough or that she was learning how to transition let's say how she switches gears? I would suspect the latter, but time will tell how Bomb Hugger is. She's been great right up until today. Last minute scratch out of the second set was Duke Dio. You're going to see him throughout the winter. Really nice colt. This is the Trixton colt out of the sister to Donato, I believe, right? Eyes at 10 was good. Amy said a little bit on the left line, a little bit. Now we're keeping a close eye on the horses that are wandering. Not the horses that are looking at the gates or making breaks or interfering or forging. The horses that are on lines, on shafts, wandering a little bit in weird places. Those are the horses we want to get checked out by the vet. Make sure. I'm not worried. I don't care if any of them have OCDs. We'll take them out. It's not a big deal. But we need to get them out in a timely fashion. We don't want to be getting into January, February, March and taking OCDs out now, do we? Although, who was the horse we had them out late last year? Big Larry M? I think January, maybe? February? I'm not sure. So Eyes at 10 was good. Kathy with an Eye is a big, powerful locomotive of a mare, of a filly, and she is a stubborn bugger. She's tough to get to the track. Going around the turn and up the hill, she gets really, really ornery and rude. But that'll dissipate with time. But man, she's got some kind of sweet gait on the track, and sweet on Pete also looks very good. But that's not shocking. Let's tell the video on this filly. I saw her the first day we went with her under the drone. She looks great. And looked great again today. Jason went with her. That was sweet on Pete. Come out in the third set. Harlan L. Now Harlan, gonna have to make some shoeing changes with Harlan. He's pretty close to his knees, pretty narrow up front. Not a big deal, but it is what it is. Harlan L. is gonna need probably a little set of knee boots for a little while, and put some weight on him. So we'll put some egg bars and toe weights on him. Get him up over his knees. Can't get him under them. Would rather him not try and get through them. So let's get him over them. Harlan L, not a big deal. Just a little minor shoeing adjustment with Harlan starting into the fall season. Hill of Magic got her head down. She was just being a goofball, looking around at everything. Very immature. That will come with time. I'll make a note to go with her when I come back. There's a couple horses I want to go with for a little while. That filly is one of them. She has got an exceptionally nice... Go away. An exceptionally nice looking gait and a beautiful body, and I suspect a little work into her and she's going to be very, very good. Matt's MVP looked good on the track today. Johnny said he was fantastic. He just trots so slick, right? The way he goes is just really, really nice. So very happy with Matt's MVP. Renegade Gypsy looked really good. I was very impressed with him today. This is a good looking colt. Really, this was the only colt that Mario and I wanted really bad out of the win-back sale. We went over and looked at the consignment before the sale. 3 horses were on our list. This guy was number 1. We got him. That never happens, but we got him. Renegade Gypsy looks great on the track. And Stolbridge Dolce, there's another horse that I think has, if I was to guess, probably has an OCD in her left hock. No big deal. We'll pop it out of there. I'll give Dr. Stiller a call later on this afternoon, or I'll send him an email just to let him know that we'd like to get her checked, both her and Stonebridge Hikati, just to make sure they're okay. But I would bet good money there's a little OCD in that left hock of Dolce. But a little choppy, a little rolly in the straightaways, but trots the turns great. That again would be an indicator of left hind, and then a little tiny swelling on the front part of that joint of her left hock. So I suspect 1 + 1 = 2, and you will find a little OCD in that hock. No big deal. Pop it out. It's done. Go on to the next fourth set. Now, I almost didn't go with 3 Point Blue Chip, but I knew a lot of people were waiting to see him go. So we Kept a close eye on him all day. Kept a close eye on 3 Point Blue Chip all morning. He ate his breakfast. He was sharp. He was feeling good. His temperature was down. Little snot, the odd cough, but he was fine. I went out, went 3 laps with him. He was very good. Man, oh man, he's got beautiful gaiting. He's supposed to, I suppose, isn't he? So, 3 Point Blue Chip looked just about as good as you could ask a horse to look after being harnessed for 4 days, I would think. Nah, we'll get to one that maybe looks even as good or better today. But 3 Point Blue Chip looks some kind of good. Now, Granite Hill. Granite Hill looked fantastic. James said to me, I hadn't seen Granite Hill in a little while. It's not littering, it's an apple. In the ditch. James went by me at some point when we were going. He said, this horse feels like he just go a mile in 2:40 right now, which isn't shocking. This is a horse I thought was grossly underpriced at the Ohio sale. A What the Hill colt, looked fantastic. And, you know, quite frankly, I was surprised how good he looked so early, but certainly not surprised he looked good, and very happy to see how much James liked him. Tioga Sunshine, this filly trots immaculate. She does everything perfect on the track. I'm very, very surprised there's any shares available of Tioga Sunshine. That is a shocking revelation, but nevertheless, it is what it is. Unbeatable Kemp, another horse with lots of shares left. Why? I guess he's a New Jersey bred. He's a Walmer, just like 3 Point Blue Chip. He looked very, very good today, this horse. Amy loves him to death and goes with him. You know, he's got a slick gait, really nice horse. So, a little surprised there's shares left in Unbeatable Kemp also. I guess I could see the argument to be made because, you know, he is a New Jersey bred. But at the same time, talent is talent, value is value, and $17,000 I think we paid for Unbeatable Kemp. Pretty hard to beat that. Rosie's Masterpiece, talk about horses that should be sold out. Now, she was a little rough around the edges today, but you can see how strong she is, how powerful that filly is when she's out trotting. I was going to say I was surprised, but I wasn't. Was I impressed? Absolutely. But that was what my level of expectation was for Rosie's Masterpiece. So I think she did exactly what I fully expected her to do today. And then you got to believe, when I talk about an overachiever, this guy trots 1, 2, 3, 4, never misses a beat, and looks like $1 million. Pretty hard not to be happy with You Gotta Believe. I know I gotta believe. I gotta believe that Doug Gilmore, Rick Five, Matt Milne, Shane Corson, and all the people that bought into You Gotta Believe are gonna be pretty happy with him this summer. Just a really, really nice looking little colt. I like him a lot. He showed that he's got a lot of ability so far. Obviously, there's a ton of time between now and July, but it's always good to get off on the right foot, and You Gotta Believe has definitely done that. Next is set number 5, Amor Diener. Amor Diener looked good, freshly castrated last week. This guy had his ears on his neck from day one. He needed to be a gelding. And you know what I noticed? Usually it takes about 2, 3, 4 weeks before you start to see that transformation take place from that, you know, sometimes that sour little horse into somebody. No Free Lunch was the same way, and we gelded him last year, you know, pinned his ears on his neck all the time, then you see them kind of creep up. And by March, April, just a sweetheart of a horse. And I thought that's what we would see here with Amor Diener. It was like a switch went off. That horse always seemed to be sour when I went with him when we first got him. And now today, James is going with him, his ears are straight forward. James said, no, this is a sweet little horse. I said, no, he's a sweet little gelding. As far as a horse goes, he's a nice horse, but as a stud, he was not so sweet. So Amor Diener, definitely a step in the right direction there. Grace, I said to Phil, like Phil wasn't around obviously when we had Darling Please, but Grace trots nicer than Darling Please does. Squarer gait, more fluid action. I'm very happy with Grace and very happy with the way she looked today. And then Massive Prophet looked good. He does need to be a gelding, Massive Prophet, and he throws his head all the time. Martingale, Murphy blind outside. You can see as he goes by the gate every time he's looking to the exit. Murphy blind outside, Martingale on him, and I think castration would be more good than anything for Massive Prophet. He's been here long enough now. This horse should be paying attention and just still goofing around, being a bit of a dink. So I think he probably needs to be cut. Optum was, I talk about Optum all the time. I don't want to keep pumping her tires up. She's got a lot of work between now and July, but man, she is some kind of sweet to be around. Slim Jimmy probably caught some eyes today. Old Jimmy looked really, really good on the track. He's an impressive looking horse. He's not slim either. He's fat. And but he looked good on the track. Luckily, he does work very, very well. Nice to be around. Does everything right. Just trots 1, 2, 3, 4. Very happy with Slim Jimmy. Stonebridge Acadi looked good also. This is Stonebridge Simba's brother. He looks exactly like him, like twins. So this guy's a Cadabra out of the same mother, obviously, as Stonebridge Simba. No issues with him so far. As I said, I want to talk to Mario. I want to make sure he's not on a shaft or on a line. If he is, we'll sneak him up to the vet just to make sure everything's all right. Simba was pretty good at 2. He had a little spur in his lower hock right hind, and he was originally. This guy is definitely not originally. We'll see about the spurs or anything else. A lot of those things are hereditary, so you may see them in him also. That's why I want to say to Mario, was he on a shaft or not? He would have brought it up, but I want to circle back with him and ask him if there is something that needs done. We'll get it done, but from what I could see, I guess not on Stonebridge Acadi. Next one was the 6th race, Mischievous Rose. Fluid gait. I know that Haley Moore is out there, and she's probably going to be looking at this video. Haley, this filly is a beautiful, beautiful filly and trots very, very nice. Can't ask for anything more than what I saw from Mischievous Rose today. Loving Beauty, James said she was trotting nice. I hadn't seen her since the first day we broke her. He said, she got real nice bounce in her step. And I said, yeah, that's what I saw in the yearling video with this filly. Very impressed with her today. James was happy with her, so am I. Loving Beauty was good. Purple Aura, what are you going to say about Purple Aura? She does everything right. And that's a great thing. We have a number of horses that just appear to understand at least what we're asking them to do right now and are happy to do it. And Purple Aura, again, top marks. Now, 1, 2, Skip a Few was scratched, had a high temperature today. We'll get to her next week. But the talk of this set, I believe, was Will to win Hanover. The reason being 2 things. 1, you can see how strong and powerful her gait is. 2, she's big, all right. She almost sunk my battleship a couple of times. She was thinking about letting fly multiple times, both under the drone and before the drone came. She didn't, thankfully, but was definitely thinking about it. She heard voices, that's for sure, and I'm glad they weren't the bad ones, because she could have easily made a mess of a lot of things this morning if she wanted to. So glad she didn't let fly, but man, when she's trotting, this is a filly, been in the harness 4 days. 4 days. That's hard to believe. She's one good-looking filly. Very happy with Will to win Hanover. Then we went out with the 7th set. 7th set, we had Arches Rainbow, who looked great. She was really broken going. The other 3 were just starting to get, Confederate Cruiser had been broke, but also was castrated 2 days ago. So Arches Rainbow looked great. In amongst some horses that were a little bit behind her, and one that was castrated. Confederate Cruiser paced really nice, very happy with him. And then Century Invictus just in the midst of getting broke, getting gated. So he's still learning how to pace. He looked good when he was pacing, and obviously Twin Bee Habanero was not pacing. We have never even put the hobbles on him yet, but how big is he? How big is that horse? Go back and look at the video. Century Invictus is on the larger side of a Bettor's Delight. So let's say he's a medium-sized horse. Confederate Cruiser's a smaller horse. Arches Rainbow's a medium horse. Go look at this horse in against those horses. He is a creature. He's a big, big boy. Set number 8, Peanut Butter and Jelly, looked fine. Has to get those wolf teeth out. You can see when James grabbed a line to straighten her up, first thing they want to do is fight you and they'll bolt the other way, because it hurts, right? It's not her fault. So we got to get those wolf teeth out of her right away. $1 Million Swan. I'm pretty sure the old Swan needs to be a gelding. Just goofing around and being stupid. Now, I'm trying to give him a little leeway, because he's only been in the barn 3 days. 3 days. A lot to do with this guy. He's towed out a little bit. Not a big deal with trotters. I certainly don't mind. But he's got to get his act together and start trotting. So we'll get $1 Million Swan now. As I say that, he's been here 3 days. So there's certainly no rush. $1 Million Swan, I think he would make a much better gelding. He never paid attention for a split second on the track all day, which is a bit frustrating. But again, they're babies. You got to give them a wide berth. And that's what I tried to do with $1 Million Swan today. We'll just table that, all right? we'll just defer any castrations or anything else, any talk of $1 Million Swan for a week or so till I get to work with him, and then we'll make the decision of what we're doing with the big boy. So that was $1 Million Swan. That was set number 8. Peanut butter and jelly. Very good. Paint by the numbers. Pretty nice filly. You can see she just got to get those wolf teeth out. Got to get the hobbles on her also. She's not hobbled up yet. $1 Million Swan. Pretty sure that guy needs to be castrated. Need to work on him, work on his gait. But we've only got 9 months. I think we'll be okay. Rose Above It was in there, and he did his work very, very well also. Rose Above It's a horse that was castrated last week. I have no idea why there's 51% available this horse. This is a beautiful colt, Cantab colt, out of sister to Muscle Massive himself. So, pretty nice colt, pretty well bred. Rose Above It certainly does everything right. And then Luck of the Dragon, you guys are going to be paying attention to this guy. This is a nice colt. I can't wait to get the hobbles on him. I think we'll start Saturday with the hobbles on. Luck of the Dragon. This is the colt we picked up at Timonium by Fear of the Dragon. Well-bred, good looker. Can't wait to get the hobbles on him Saturday. Then the last set, Prairie Fire was scratched. Sick. Not a big deal. We had Resolute Bay. He looked so, so good. For those of you who sold out Resolute Bay, who those of you who have shares of Resolute Bay, you got some kind of good-looking trotter here. This is a chestnut brother to the veteran who set a world record a couple of months ago in Lexington. Yeah, a couple of months ago in Lexington. He looked some kind of good today. Spent looked incredibly good also. Now, there was a thing here. I see James is down on Resolute Bay. Johnny's down on Spent. Those were flipped. James went with Spent, and Johnny went with Resolute Bay, and they were smoking pretty good on the end of it for babies. Now, Voyage of Ice and Fire. I hadn't gone with him since the day I broke him. He needs toe weights on. He needs to have his toe weights on. He needs to have a set of bell boots on. And I'm not so sure there's a little OCD in that guy's left hind also. He's on the vet's list. Just an ever so tiny amount of swelling in that left hock. But in the straightaways, I noticed he could have been touching, and that's why he ran. Or he could have been a little pinchy on that left hind, much like we saw a little more dramatically with Stonebridge Dolce. So there's no certainty that either of those horses have OCDs, but I would bet pretty good money definitely on Dolce and possibly on Voyage of Ice and Fire. But this colt trots so, so nice. If you watch the first part of the video, he did some trotting. I was really impressed with him. It might just be that he needs a little bit of weight, maybe a set of scalpers on, and he'll trot through 1, 2, 3, 4. But you know, I know Larry does a good job, the gentleman that we hired, and when he goes out in the track in the morning by himself and just jogs them 1, 2, 3, 4, pitter patter, you know, just easy. You don't really learn a whole lot, so these days are a bit of a culture shock for those horses. I would rather have them out in a group setting, but hey, everybody wants to get there and get their job done, and he does a very good job with the horses. So for now, that's fine. I told him I would go with Voyage of Ice and Fire again on Saturday. I want to get a good look at this guy, get him squared away, and then we'll make a final list of horses to start going up and getting fluoroscoped by the veterinarian. I think we have a list of about 4 or 5 right now. That'll probably expand to somewhere closer to 8. If we have 48 horses, we take 8 up. A few of those horses need OCD surgeries. So be it. That's what we'll do. And then the last horse was Taiwan On. She looked great, right? Amy went with Taiwan On. That is another horse. Shares available. How is there shares available on Tipsy and Dixie's sister by bar hopping? How is that possible? I mean, this is a beautiful filly. She's bigger now than Tipsy and Dixie is. And you could say, well, one's Ontario, one's PA. Don't kid yourself. Go look at the results of PA and Ontario last year. Very, very similar programs. We've always talked about PA being the deepest end of the ocean. Well, when I start seeing the grassroots 3-year-olds going in 49 and the 2-year-old grassroots going in 51 in Ontario, I don't think it's that much deeper than where Ontario is. So right now, whether you're in PA or Ontario or in Ohio or New York, you still have to have a good horse. Taiwan On has a half-sister. That was one of the best grassroots horses in Ontario last year. Socked away 50,000. Took a mark of what? 2-1, trotted in 58 on a half. You can't ask any horse to do much more than that. So if you're out there and you're saying, Taiwan On, I mean, I really don't know why anybody would shy away from this filly. Just a very, very beautiful filly. 2 foals, I think 2 foals out of the mare. Pretty sure there's 2. There might be 3, but I think there's 2. One's Taiwan On and one's Tipsy and Dixie. So Taiwan On, can't ask for anything more than that. Horse looked great today. So Resolute Bay, Spent, Taiwan On were great in the last set. I'm not going to mention the 2 sets that we were getting horses broke in because they're just learning to do their work, right? So we skipped down to the 6th. Everybody in there was good. Will to win Hanover was incredible. Purple Aura looked good. Loving Beauty, Mischievous Rose. The fifth one, off them, looked great. Slim Jimmy looked great. I didn't get to see the other horses behind me. I know that Massive Profit may need castrated. Definitely needs a martingale, and definitely needs a Murphy Blind on the outside to go the right way of the track. Right now, lots of horses have in the past. And I was happy with the Mordiner and Grace. Then 3 Point Blue Chip, Granite Hill, Tioga Sunshine, Unbeatable Kemp, Rosie's Masterpiece, and You Gotta Believe. That's probably one of the strongest sets in the entire day. Every horse in there looked very, very good to me. Harlan L needs a shoeing change. Hill of Magic needs some a little bit of equipment on her, probably a hood, get her head up. I think she'll be a lot better as she starts to pay attention. Matt's MVP looked good. Renegade Gypsy looked great. Stonebridge Dolce looked good. I think there's a little OCD in that left hock. Down we go to set number 2. Blue Bayou was fantastic. Sweet on Pete was good. Kathy with an Eye was good. So was Eyes of 10 and Bomb Hugger. Little work to do with Bomb Hugger. Got to make a few little adjustments with her. Eyes of 10, she looked good to me. Kathy with an Eye, a little stubborn, hard to get her to the track, but on the track she looks great. Sweet on Pete does her work very well, but Blue Bayou, to me, was the fastest horse in that set today, which means nothing. And then the first set of the day, virtually everybody in there did their work very well. Almost There Boss, Better Be Sawyer, Procrastinator, Twinkle in Her Eye, and World for 2. Pretty good day overall. I couldn't be happier. I hope you guys were happy. We'll talk to you soon. It's 10 degrees and sunny, and it is a beautiful day here in Ontario. Tomorrow morning, I might, you know what, if I'm a little restless tonight, I might just get in my car and drive to PA because we got a race. I have to race tomorrow in Pennsylvania, or I'll either have to do that or get up in the morning early to go. I guess either way, I'm not going to get to see the kids before I go, so I don't know what I'll do yet. Tonight or tomorrow morning, I will be in Pennsylvania tomorrow afternoon, and I'll be back here in this driveway, probably in this spot right here, by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Take care. Hope you guys had some fun watching the drone today. We had a ball putting it on for you.